What's up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Ernie, Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. Since the last time we talked about Immortal Hulk, he'd come back from the dead and turned into the stuff of horror movies and nightmares. No longer able to transform at will, Bruce Banner has essentially become more of a werewolf analog than he was before, now only being able to transform at night, and not into the Hulk of old, but Hulk with a sense of malice, of menace, and able to smell the fear and lies within the hearts of evil men. And now that Hulk has been cutting a swath across the United States, and along the way, he's about to make more than a few enemies. But before we get started, it only takes 2 clicks to become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers. Click, click. One of the first things that Hulk does in his journeys as the Immortal Hulk, he buries Dr. Fry alive. A man who used a miracle cancer drug he developed using gamma radiation on himself and his son, which killed him, but caused Fry to glow neon green and eventually becoming an irradiated gamma man. Banner tracked this man down, and when night fell, Hulk learned his truths about how many he's killed to keep his presence in town hidden from the locals, and how his dead son's buried body has been poisoning the town ever since, killing many people. So for his trouble, he ripped off the man's arms and buried him alive inside the mountain that he was using as a sanctuary. We even learned that an old Hulk villain, Hotshot, has been making the rounds thanks to reporter Jackie McGee, a woman who's been tracking the return of Bruce Banner and Hulk. Only she finds Hotshot's trail instead along a wide-ranging string of tales, each painting Hotshot in varying degrees of light. As a dashing villain, a lovelorn heartthrob, and as a manic psychopath ranting about a green door in a place below, and the devil himself. But what we learn from this encounter is that Hulk truly is, for all intents and purposes, immortal, seeming to boast a healing factor even more powerful than Wolverine's, as Hotshot literally vaporizes Hulk's heart and he still lives. And this is when we begin to see this new Hulk, this Immortal Hulk, may just be the devil himself, the one below all. Things get even crazier when Walter Langkowski, the Sasquatch, comes into play, reaching out to Jackie McGee. They both team up to track down the Hulk, because Walter has a vested interest in all this. Walter was once a college roommate of Banner's, and though Walter was once more a jock than a scientist, he did have a mind for it. And it was Banner and his transformation into the Incredible Hulk that led to Langkowski experimenting with the stuff himself, leading to him becoming the Sasquatch, a character who is pretty much a mainstay on Alpha Flight. But that's besides the point. Back when he transformed himself for the first time and he exited his base in the Arctic Circle, where the walls of reality are pretty thin, he found the green door, the same green door Hotshot mentioned, and this door seemed to link back to a realm of demons and monsters, one of which was Tanarak, an ancient beast of the north who possessed Walter back then, but he's long since defeated and displaced Tanarak from himself. There's something else inside the Good Doctor, something worse. After following leads to one of Hulk's latest paths of destruction, Walter and Jackie get caught up in an altercation, and when Walter tries to defuse the situation, he gets near fatally stabbed in the back for his trouble and getting rushed to the emergency room. And it's here that while the doctors and nurses are trying to save his life, the Sasquatch awakens, reviving himself and revealing that he may not be the Sasquatch we remember. He's killing and eating the doctors and nurses that were trapped in the room with him. Fortunately for Jackie, Banner was still nearby and seemed to be keenly aware that Walter, and something else, was nearby. Banner can't seem to sense it himself, but Hulk can. We learn from Banner that because Walter's Sasquatch-related gamma signature is essentially a carbon copy of Banner's Hulk gamma signature, making Walter's turning into Sasquatch in tune with Banner's own transformations, meaning he can only transform at night as well, and when Banner confronts him, Sasquatch makes it clear he doesn't want to talk to Banner. He wants the Hulk. And considering that Hulk is not overly fond of people hurting Bruce Banner, Sasquatch slashing Banner's throat and killing him was more than enough motivation for Hulk to appear and give Sasquatch an Alabama ass whipping. Hulk immediately knows that Sasquatch is not Walter. Not entirely. Walter would never kill, even in Sasquatch mode, making the fact that Sasquatch has another passenger on board even more obvious to him. Hulk begins psychoanalyzing Sasquatch mid-fight, something he's become very capable of since coming back from the dead thanks to the No Surrender storyline. And his analysis isn't far from the truth. Walter does feel like he is not the one that anyone wants. They don't want the brains of Walter Lankowski. They want the raw, unbridled brawn of Sasquatch. And this was all this new passenger needed. And it turns out Walter had been spending way more time as Sasquatch for months on end and even a year at a time, rarely if ever reverting back to his human form, creating all kinds of concern from his Alpha Flight teammates. Not only has he been spending more time as Sasquatch, but it's become incredibly difficult for him to turn back human at all. And when he does, he sees what Banner sees whenever he looks into a mirror. His other self staring back at him, waiting. And this, quotey fingers, Immortal Sasquatch is just as bloodthirsty as Immortal Hulk. Only in Hulk's case, his hands are only for bad people. Sasquatch's hands are for everyone. So who is this entity that has been piggyback riding Walter Lankowski and taking over when he becomes Sasquatch? Tanarak? He's been out of commission for a long time and it would make sense, but it's not him. Mephisto? Nah, that would be a waste of his time. Loki? He's not that cheap. It's only when Hulk looks at Sasquatch's mirror image he sees the truth. His long-thought dead abusive father, Brian Banner. A man who made his first appearance in Incredible Hulk number 267 back in 1982, and though technically it was only a cameo, his actual full first appearance was technically in Incredible Hulk number 312 back in 1985. He's a real piece of work, a man who viewed his own father as an abusive monster, leading him to believe that he was a monster himself and would become just like him, even going as far as to promising himself he'd never have children, only to have Bruce and repeat the cycle that his father began with him. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on which pony you're backing, Bruce killed his father Brian in a fit of rage, knocking him unconscious and his ragdolling body falling headfirst into Rebecca's gravestone, which, for those of you who don't know, Rebecca is Bruce Banner's mother and Brian's estranged wife. Since then, Brian's ghost endured, haunting Bruce throughout the years, and thanks to his connection to Bruce Banner and the Hulk, he can now possess gamma-irradiated beings. Having used the Green Door to return to this plane of existence using Sasquatch to access Walter's psyche, and now that he's back and in Sasquatch's body, he plans to do what he feels he should have done years ago and strangle Bruce in his crib. Man, talk about dad of the year. Anyways, Bruce believes Brian didn't do this on his own, that despite his genius-level intellect, someone had to have helped him gain this power. And Brian reveals that all Walter wanted was to finally be Banner's equal in both his own genius and in the raw power of their alternate forms. Something that Sasquatch always was, he just didn't know how to access the power to achieve it until now. And that maybe, just maybe, even giving some credence to the idea that maybe Banner really is possessed by the devil, and that Hulk is truly, maybe he really is a demon. But the thing that Brian Banner didn't count on was that gamma radiation made Walter a Hulk-like being, literally turning him into Sasquatch, and that same gamma radiation is what fuels Brian's own ghost, as well as keeps the Green Door open. And since the Hulk can absorb gamma radiation to fuel his own strength, he simply absorbs all of Walter's gamma radiation, permanently ridding Walter of the Sasquatch persona and Brian Banner's evil gamma-seeking ghost. And now that Walter and Jackie are safe, Hulk doesn't want their thanks, but he gets it anyway. Jackie reveals that when she was a teenager, Hulk destroyed her home, that when she was a child, people told her the only way to be safe when the Hulk was near was to never look him in the eyes. And ever since then, she's always had questions for the Incredible Hulk, and he gives her a shot to ask one thing and one thing only. And it's here that we discover the real reason Jackie has been following Banner across country. She's a reporter, but she doesn't want the scoop of a century. That's not really why she was doing this. She wanted to know how she can become the Hulk as well. Something that makes Hulk incredibly uncomfortable, because even in this form, he knows how dangerous he is, and that being what he is not a gift. It's a curse. And as Hulk walks away from Jackie and Walter, we learn Brian Banner isn't gone. He didn't die when Walter's gamma radiation was taken away. He simply found a new home and a new person to haunt, the Immortal Hulk. And I love this turnaround because for 5 issues into Immortal Hulk, Banner has constantly been hounded by Hulk, staring back at him in his reflection, constantly calling out to him, constantly taunting him, reminding him of the things that he's done the night before, always showing that menacing smile. And now Hulk has had the tables turned on him by Banner's own father, so that whenever he looks at his reflection, he doesn't see himself. He doesn't see Bruce. He only sees Brian Banner's wicked smile to haunt him. I really like this story arc, and it's been a long time since I've just really enjoyed a Hulk book, but I really like what they're doing with this because, and there's some more stuff that's going to be coming up down the road, but I really like how they are playing up on the idea that maybe the Hulk really isn't like a hero. I mean, maybe Banner is somehow, trying to make him into one, and maybe, the Hulk himself is, doing what he's doing, killing evil men, punishing them as a way to embody that. But the origins of the Hulk, it seems like, they're trying to go back and tweak them a little bit, and it's really interesting. I really like where they're doing this, kind of the teasing of the, of Devil Hulk, just like, oh man, I love it. I love what they're doing with it. Also, the idea of the Hulk being like this monster movie creature is just that much more interesting to me than him just being a rage monster who happens to be a good guy. Like, I feel like they found a way to put some more gravitas on Bruce Banner and the Hulk's dynamic, and even making the Hulk something that you should be afraid of. And I'm also really curious to see how much further they'll take the whole Brian Banner story arc, because Brian Banner really hasn't been a major player in Hulk comics in a while. Like, I mean, he's popped up here and there, but I'm really curious to see how they deal with that since they're kind of hanging their hat on this whole, like, horror motif. But anyways, let me know what you thought about Immortal Hulk number 1 through number 5. Sound off in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, Hulk smash that like button. And if you want to see more awesome videos like this one, make sure you click subscribe so you can become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers, and tap that bell so you know when I post up. And if you want to become one of Earth's mightiest patrons as well, swing on over by patreon.com/Blerd Without Fear. And if you chuck in a buck, you can get some exclusive content. And if you don't want to become one of Earth's mightiest patrons, that's fine too. Hey, all I ask is that you like this video and share it with your friends. And who knows, maybe they'll become some of Earth's mightiest subscribers too. Anyways, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and while you're here, go ahead and check out some of these other videos I got floating around here. But until next time, Plus Ultra!